I interviewed Chi Ali recently.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with his story?
Yeah.
Chi Ali killed his baby mother's brother over "suck my dick."
Yeah. Them some words. Like, you know, them some words, man. It depends on how it hit your ear when he said it. You see what I'm saying?
There was also, I mean, there's a bigger story. You know, some stuff was happening where you know, he had like tore up the apartment and was beefing with, you know, his sister and,
So it
and
was
stuff
just
like
got out
that.
of
It was
control.
a buildup. There was some money owed. There was some whatever. You know, and it's so much reminded me of the Nipsey situation of like, you know, if the story is true over Nipsey calling Eric Holder a snitch, and like those words trigger
They
a
do,
murder.
bro. They big words.
And it's just like you would think that a human being would not throw their own life away
You would
over a
think.
set of words.
You
but
would
it
think,
just it
but
does
not
happen.
not in those communities. You
Not
see?
in those communities.
Yeah. So everybody, I'm like the average person wouldn't take it that way. But you got to understand, when we was little kids in the hood, we started out going to school. So we used to play this thing called the dozens.
Yeah.
And there was certain things that if you said, it would probably start a fight. Talk about somebody's mom, you see, or talk about their handicap or whatever issue that they had personally. And certain people couldn't take certain stuff. So if you grew up your entire life with this type of mentality, it's going to still be there. You understand? So,
Yeah, it's a little different punching someone in the face and shooting them in the face.
absolutely.
You know, because if you punch someone in the face, yeah.
But they don't fight no more, Vlad. So that's the whole point.
Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
At what point, you know, because you talk about, you know, I remember I talked to this one dude, Pookie Loke from the Rolling 60s, OG dude, who was, anyways, it's part of a bigger story. There's a reason why I was talking to him. And you know, he's I think in his 60s or 70s now. And we talked about, you know, he was a real OG in this gang, and his thing, you know, I talked about prison time with him. You know, this was just a private conversation. He goes, I didn't really go to prison because I always just fought with my hands. I never liked guns. I never shot anybody. If I had a problem, we would knuckle up.
Well, he lived in a time when they wasn't shooting people every day.
That's what I'm saying.
You couldn't, like, nowadays you beat a person up, you got to watch them because they might come back and shoot you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they probably just want to come back and fight again and see if they can win.
Well, you know,
see?
the Tupac situation.
See? So it's that far out of control.
You know?
And then it depends on how high your anger, like if you know, it's a lot of different factors, but yeah, they not fighting, Vlad. Like, you might get a head up with your homeboy, and then you might have to watch him because he might want to shoot you, your own friend. You see? But it's out of control. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, and you know, I remember D.L. Hughley. He's a gun advocate. He's got like, what is he, like 11 guns at his house or some crazy number.
D.L. from Compton.
Yeah, well, he was a blood growing up.
Of course.
And we talked about that. He said a couple interesting things. He said that
when I grew up, I wanted to be like the dude that shot Nipsey. I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Eric Holder.
To put in work for your set. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, although I don't know whether he was really putting in.
But I'm just saying, if you
in that situation, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But to have the idea that the destruction of things was better than the building of it.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you have a young man who died, who showed you that living your life, even though it was short, in a way of when I've never seen black men, a young black man like that in my life, celebrated for his service to people.
I've seen people in my hood aspire to that. For me, it wasn't like that for me. I didn't ever want to go to prison. I never wanted to get shot. But I was with my homies, and if something was going to happen to me or them, yeah, whatever we needed to do, we was going to do it. So for me, it was me losing my friends that I grew up with. Not just somebody from my hood, we was friends. You see what I'm saying? Because before we started gangbanging, we was only children, you see? So it took that for me, you know, seeing my friend in a casket, like, that's too much. You know what I mean? I didn't aspire to be the top head honcho or no shit. Like that's kind of psychotic. But I know people from my hood that did. You know what I mean? They used to say it when we was little kids. I can't wait to go to prison. We in the 6th grade.
I can't wait to go to prison.
Like sick. Like
yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this before. You know, some of the Mexican gangsters I interviewed
probably thought the same way. It's all
aspired to go to
California.
prison for life and be a boss from behind the wall.
That's sick.
It's twisted, and
It's
they
so
realize
twisted.
it's twisted now.
It's so twisted.
Well, and in fact, one of the guys. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Hold on.
You want to go be a shot caller from behind the wall. You can't never
Well,
hold your child. You can't never get no pussy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in fact, you know, one of the
That's
guys,
crazy.
Sad Boy Loco, who's YG's artist, you know, he had the same type of aspirations as a kid, and you know, when me and him talked, he realized how crazy that was.
When you're a youngster, your dream is to hit Pelican Bay and all that stuff. You feel me? But as you become older and like you have kids and shit, and you have homies that are already there, or, you know what I mean, and see what it really is, you kind of change your views in life and shit. Like, I got homies that are doing life sentences right now, like 3-4 life sentences on top of their head.
But last I checked, he's still, you know, in jail for attempted murder
Yeah, see?
with a $1.1 million bail, which he can't pay. And you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know whether it's true or not. I don't know whether he's gotten out since. But you know, we broke this story, and it's, you know, shit. Like I was
Yeah.
talking to him maybe a year before. You know,
See, you know, because you got to leave, man. Like, especially if your mentality starts to change, man, you got to kind of get away from the people you ran with, bro. You just have to. Because it's easily to get pulled back in. And if you in the hood, if something happens while you're in the hood and you're there, you're totally obligated to it.
well,
see?
your brother got shot in a similar situation, going back.
Going back
Go
for
back-
something in the morning,
going back to your
in a
hood.
fast car when they just been shooting it out all day, and here you come sliding. See?
And he got shot up. Yeah, I interviewed Keek the Sneak recently.
I signed a petition for him and donated to his cause to keep him
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, because he got shot up
in Richmond.
in Richmond, which is the hood, late, early morning.
He said it was mistaken identity, though.
That's what he said in our interview. Do you have any idea who did this to you or why?
No, I hear a lot of shit, you know, on my ear to the streets. Mistaken identity from what I hear. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody thought I was somebody else. You know, and I was in Richmond at 5 in the morning. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, I went through my phase of being mad as fuck at whoever did this to me. I want them gone. To the point where I just pray, you know what I'm talking about? I just pray. You know, what goes around comes around twice. If this was a mistake, it was the wrong one. You know what I'm talking about? But at the same time, you know, right now, my main focus is walking, getting my ass up, moving around. You know what I'm talking about? I don't got time to be dwelling on who did it and who done it and who's, you know what I'm talking about? Who's gonna pay for it and well, none of that. My main focus is walking, you know what I mean?
But still, you're in somewhat of a dangerous area.
I mean, he's used to it. I mean, Keek ain't never left. He ain't never left the street. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, he was living in a nice area. I went to his house. I used to DJ for him.
I
He
understand
used to
what
live
you're
up in
saying,
Sacramento.
bro, but the California people, bro, is like I seen E40 in some controversy just recently. That's so unlike E40. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's because a lot of times you know, when you from something, you from it. And no matter where you go, if you're still dealing with people, you know, you sliding through the hoods, it's bound to happen.
The Nipsey situation.
Exactly. It's bound to happen to anybody, bro. Nobody's exempt from that. A total stranger can get killed in the hood. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So come on, if you fit a profile, that's what people are looking for. Gang members have profiles, and it usually look like you. It usually like the person that when you stare in the mirror, it's the person that look like you, dress like you, talk like you. You see?